Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here today and talk to you about who put the AI in Agile and what is the AI in Agile. Now, we all know AI stands for artificial intelligence, and AI has started to really make its way into the Agile community. So the question becomes, how do we leverage AI? What do we need to know about AI? And how can we get ahead of the curve? Because there's a lot of organizations that are still confused over how to use AI or what's going to be best and which pieces of AI are going to really benefit their organization. So my hope is that this comprehensive video and demonstration is going to give you some tools that you can use that are going to blow your mind. So before we get any further, I just want to remind you that we do have the podcast, the Agile Daily Stand-Up. It's absolutely amazing. If you haven't listened, make sure you come and subscribe. It's available on all your favorite podcasting platforms. So I've been doing this for a very long time, but I think the key to being successful is that we need to harness the power of AI in order for us to really be able to press forward and help our own organization that we work for, or as a coach or trainer to help other organizations be successful. Now, what I'm about to show you is something many people have said is a little over the top. I've even been accused of being a little zany or crazy about this because I really do believe that the difference between a strong Agile implementation and a weak Agile implementation is how we implement AI. So I wanted to use this graph just to give you a little bit of background and show you where we're starting and what problem we're trying to solve. So this is a graph of all the different Agile frameworks. This has everything from Scrum as a central hub right here. So I'm going to look away for a second to show you right here. And it covers part of this circle. It's got everything from Kanban to Kaizen to Demi-theory constraints to Lean to DevOps to test-driven design, feature-driven design, behavioral-driven design, Crystal, Clear to Mikado method, Agile modeling, extreme programming, product development flow. You've got Synerfin. You've got everything on here. Human-centered design, dynamic systems development method, even Prince2 and Waterfall, since the PMP is now incorporating a lot of Agile practices. You've got rational unified process, Agile unified process, design thinking. You've got your scaling techniques up here. You've got less and safe, disciplined Agile delivery. The point I'm trying to make is just about everything that incorporates Agile can be incorporated into this chart from Christopher Webb. So how do we leverage this? And what does this mean? Well, I always like to start by introducing the problem. Let's introduce the problem. So the problem is many organizations don't understand that every single product or project in the world that they work on goes through 4 distinct phases. They all do. And there's nothing you and I can do to change that. It's just the way of the Wuckus. It's the way of the world. It's the way that it goes through, right? So that first phase, and I've broken it down for you using these lines, these dotted lines going down here. So there's 3 lines going down, breaking this into 4 sections. Okay? The first section has to do with ideation or initiation. This is where someone's going to say, hey, I got an amazing idea. I think we need to do ABC. And someone's going to say, that sounds like a really good idea, Jim, but have you taken the time to, let's throw a little bit of money at it and figure out and validate and make sure that this is truly a good idea. Now, when we do that, there's no obligation to do everything in this quadrant, right? We might say, let's create a quick hypothesis statement, or let's do an idea collaboration session, or maybe let's do some high-level brainstorming, or even identify the top 5 ideas to solve a problem, or create a why-how ladder, a quick business vision statement. The point I'm trying to make is it doesn't need to be perfect. It's inexpensive, and it is proving that the idea is valid and worth pursuing. Okay, so if we use the Yelp $ model for this, this would be a $1 initiative. Very inexpensive, easy to do, short duration, and it's just to gather and collect ideas and make sure we're all fundamentally on the same page. Okay, let's go to number 2. Section 2, which goes right here, is called discovery. Discovery is where our goal is to create an MVP, a minimal viable product, right? And it's listed here. So what I wanted to show you is that, hey, while this is an incredible opportunity, we want to make sure that we start off by identifying who our targeted personas are, who are going to be the people that are using our product or service, utilizing our product or service. And then from there, we can write a quick product vision roadmap elevator pitch statement where it's just a high-level elevator pitch, something along the lines of, for our target audience that is struggling with this problem, our product or service is this type of product or service that provides a key benefit, a compelling reason to buy it. Unlike our competitor's product or service, ours is different and better. That's kind of where we're going with that, right? And then we can start doing some decision making, affinity clustering our features, doing some relational mapping, context mapping, perspective mapping, empathy mapping, ecosystem mapping, story mapping, journey mapping. Insert your mapping here, right? So this is where you're going to try to map to make sure you have a deep understanding of consumers' needs. And your goal is to create a prototype, a proof of concept, something that's going to help us get to where we need to be. That is the minimal viable product concept. We can also keep track of things like a risk log or a business case to help make sure we have the drive behind what we're trying to do and to make sure that we understand. Now, this right here is a very important step, and it's $2 signs. It's more expensive than ideation, but it's still not the most expensive piece. Speaking of most expensive, let's get to it now. The most expensive is part 3. Now, I want to draw this line here. Look at where I'm drawing. It goes up here, across here, all the way down over here, and then back across. This giant square that takes up more than 50% of what you're looking at here in a landscape picture, that is called delivery. And delivery is where everything Agile resides. Let me explain what I mean by that. When people say we're doing Agile, they usually mean we're doing Agile delivery. We're doing sprint planning. We have a daily scrum. We identify and break down our stories into tasks. We create a task board. We do a Kanban board. We have feedback loops. We do beyond ideation. We do backlog refinement. We do backlog grooming. We do feedback loops. We do any kind of document prerequisites, refactoring, mapping, anything that you're talking about here, queuing theory, anything that you can think of, retrospective, sprint planning, all those good things, reviews, demos, acceptance criteria, definition of done, burn down charts. All of that stuff is part of delivery. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Many organizations, when I speak to them, I ask, are you doing Agile? And the answer is, yes, we're doing, of course we're doing Agile. I'm like, how do you know you're doing Agile? And they say, because we hold that meeting every day for 15 minutes. Or they say, yeah, we're doing Agile because we break everything down into 2-week chunks. And for me to explain to them that, while that's very interesting, it doesn't mean you're doing Agile, that catches them off guard. So let me explain what I mean by that, because I want to draw a real-world scenario for you now so that you'll understand why AI is so important. Here we go. So this particular organization says, we're practicing Scrum. I'm happy about that. I'm a certified Scrum trainer, right? But they say, we trust our product owner to create a product backlog that is going to be all-inclusive of every customer's want, need, whim, and desire. They understand strategically what direction we're trying to take our product or service, and it's technologically feasible for everyone to build. Okay, I can live with that, I suppose. But the problem is most product owners are not the subject matter expert in all of those things. I'll say that again. Most product owners are not the subject matter expert in all of those things. So what does this do? It causes a ripple in the lake where you have other people coming down and dictating what that product owner should be looking for. And in this case, I'm going to use a simple analogy. I'm going to say, bring me a rock. Now that product owner is going to go out and ask the team, hey, we have 2 weeks to deliver this. Our goal is to bring a rock. We're going to bring a rock. And when we bring the rock, the first thing the product owner is going to say is, that's not the right rock. It's too small. I need a larger rock. So then what do? We go back around this loop again for another 2-week sprint, and we bring a bigger rock. And when we bring a bigger rock in, the product owner is going to look at it and say, that rock's about the right size, but it's got rough edges, right? So then what do? We go back out frustrated, go back around the loop again, bring a rock with smooth edges, present it to the product owner, and the product owner says, this rock is perfectly smooth, it's the right size, but it's metamorphic. I need a sedimentary rock. Now, I don't know what's more concerning, that I remembered igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary, or that, it's just 3 rock types. But the point I'm trying to make is now, out of frustration, the team goes around this loop one more time, and they end up going to a river canyon somewhere and retrieving a sedimentary rock that's the right size, the right smoothness. It's perfect. It takes them full 2 weeks to get it out. They bring it over to us. They hand it to us. And the answer is, that's the perfect rock. Absolutely perfect. But the customer's needs have changed, and now they want to stick. If you just got PTSD, so did I, because that's what happens, right? So I wanted to make sure you understood the problem that we're trying to face. And this is $5. And this is the most expensive part. You've got all your development team, all of your technical folks, all of your key people involved in this delivery process. When in actuality, the truth is, the first time you went around this loop and it didn't work and it was the wrong rock, the correct answer would have been, let's revert back to discovery, talk about this persona a little more, and use the help me understand method to figure out what did we not know about this persona that caused us to deliver the wrong rock. Okay? So I'm saying that we should be spending some time in ideation and discovery, but most organizations I go to say, we don't have time to do these two things. So we're going to start right here with Scrum and delivery because our product owner knows everything we need to know. And I'm like, right? So how do we solve that problem? That is the big problem. And then, of course, at the end, we have release. And this is how we get our product or service to market. If it's a physical product, it follows more Lean Six Sigma. If it's an actual software product, most of those are doing DevOps or DevSecOps to go out to market. And this is $2 signs. But the question I have is, how do we get people unstuck from delivery? How do we get people to focus on outcome instead of output? How do we get people to understand that if you make a mistake in this loop, that the best advice is to go back to the other side and do some of this persona-based flow? Or can we leverage AI early and do these two steps using AI to help us make sure we understand and only have to go through this loop over here once or twice in delivery? That's the key. That is the secret sauce. That is where we're trying to go. That is what we're going to figure out, yes? So let's do it. Let's continue. So I wanted to make sure before we go any further that we're all on the same page with regard to AI, because many people have accused me of being an AI junkie. I'll tell you that right now. I love AI. So let's make sure we're on the same page. So for me, AI and Agile definitely intersect, right? If you think about what we're trying to do with artificial intelligence, we're trying to make things easier. We're trying to make things better facilitated. We're trying to approach a new way of doing project management by having better predictability, higher customer satisfaction, faster time to market. We're trying to make things efficient and adaptable. And AI and AI-driven tools and platforms are helping us become capable of doing those things. It's taking things that we had as a normal routine and automating them. So you can automate things from code generation to testing to whatever you need to help Agile teams be more productive. Now, I know what you're thinking. You probably don't want to rely on AI to write your code for you. I agree. But there's nothing wrong with taking code that's non-sensitive information, plugging it into AI and saying, hey, can you help me identify if there's any places with known errors that we should be reviewing or going over? So what I'm saying is there's a lot of value in understanding how to use AI to significantly reduce risk of human error and to give you higher quality deliverables, right? So there's nothing wrong with using AI. The other quorum I get about AI all the time, when people talk to me about AI, the other thing I hear them say is that a lot of times, what if I put something in AI and it's proprietary information and AI now knows that information and can distribute it to the world? Here's my question. And this blows people away. Before you ask me that question, I recommend that you go to one of the search engines, Google, Bing, whatever you got, right? Search for that item in a search engine. Whatever it is you think is proprietary, don't put the information in there that you know. Ask it, what do you know about ABC? What do you know about DEF? And you would be completely blown away by the amount of information that's already out there. So what I'm trying to say is if this information is already in a search engine's history, chances are you plugging stuff in AI is not going to make it any worse. Now, I'm not saying go against your company standards. I'm not saying go against ethical AI. What I am saying, though, is that more times than not, when people tell me this information, there's no way anybody knows about it, it's proprietary to our company, I can do a quick Google search and I can recitate back to them what the proprietary piece is before they even tell me, right? It's almost like trying to find a hidden recipe for, I don't know, for Wendy's secret sauce or just, you get the point. It's the secret's already out is what I'm trying to say. So don't think about AI that way. I want you to start thinking about AI as synergy. It's a way to connect the dots. So when it comes to stakeholders, for example, sometimes their level of engagement is low. AI can help us with some seamless collaboration with them so that we can make sure we have a good understanding. And this is the best part. As part of diversity, equity, inclusiveness, it helps us make sure everyone has a voice at the table, which is pretty darn incredible, right? It gives everybody a chance to align against product outcomes and to work more closely with customer needs and expectations. So AI is kind of the catalyst between Agile workspaces, driving innovation, efficiency, and strategic foresight and predictability. That's the beautiful thing. So AI can help you really drive exceptional value home if you understand it and if you use it as a correct tool. That's the key. So here are the top 5 reasons why you should be excited about this workshop that you're sitting in right now. Number 1, we're going to talk about AI-driven vision and strategy. I'm going to walk you through with examples and show you how to get the most out of AI with regard to your vision and strategy. Number 2 is AI brainstorming and product creation. It's 2 and 3. I'm going to teach you how to brainstorm and get all kinds of great ideas and then actually create a product using AI. Now, this is all going to be done on the fly. So I have a couple of prompts pre-written that I'm going to put in, but we are going to do this together as we go. That's what the other tab is. It's ChatGPT. So we're going to go ahead and open it and show you how to use it. We're going to show you how to create personas and develop your personas. And we're going to show you how to do some pretty creative backlog item creation, mapping, and tooling. We're going to show you how to do some pretty cool things. But this is the reason you're here. This is the bread and butter. So I wanted to carve out the first 15 minutes to give you that introduction. Let's jump in and do some AI. Let's do some prompting. But before we do, last thing, I almost forgot. I want to make sure we understand ethical AI. Okay? The truth is, most organizations who are starting to play with AI, they are concerned about responsibility and ethical usage and bias and data privacy and accountability. There's a lot out there that you have to be concerned about. What I can tell you is that this is the most important step before you even set foot into the world of AI. Now, if you're doing it personally, for your own ideas and your own things, that's fine. Before you put any of your company's information into any AI tool, make sure you consult internal AI specialists, someone who's investigating AI, your internal legal team, whoever it is you need to make certain that you're not in violation of anything that could cause any accountability issues or nightmares for you and your company. So you want to make sure you do that the right way. So like I tell people, if you're on a Department of Defense contract, chances are you're not going to be using AI to do this, right? But this is still a good tool for you to use to learn how to leverage and to learn how to prompt right. So once we do get to a point where people feel comfortable, you know exactly what you can and can't do. All right, let's continue. So accountability is the big deal, and ethical use of AI is the big deal. I think I've pretty much covered this. Adhere to your legal and moral standards. If you're not sure, don't do it. Foster a culture of responsibility and respect for individuals and communities. If you do that, you're going to be good to go. Okay, that was easy. All right, let's jump in. Let's do some more with AI. So I want to give you what I call AI in a nutshell. So this is going to be the why behind the what. And then we're going to do some fun stuff. All right, here we go. So what are the steps to use AI? The first step is choosing the correct AI engine that you're going to execute your prompts in. There are so many AI engines out there. These are the ones that I have used on a pretty consistent basis since AI was introduced, right? Since it became more mainstream. These are the top, what I call the top 5, the 5 power hitters, if you will. So I like ChatGPT 4. That's the one we're going to be using today. I find that Chat 4 is more robust. It can integrate with DALL-E. It can give you good images. It's just a good overall tool. And it tends to give you, if you know how to write the prompts, it tends to give you the best information. Coming in at number 2 is Jasper. Now, Jasper is more designed for marketing type things, but Jasper.ai is an incredibly powerful tool. There's also Claude. If you've never used Claude, you can give that one a shot. Now, Claude, you have to register ahead of time to use. You have to fill out an application almost to get approved. So it's less people using it, but the information is still very, very good. Gemini, formerly known as Bard, is the Google product. Now, what I can tell you is Gemini has probably the greatest depth of information, but it may be one of the ones that are more difficult to navigate. So I've used it, and I've gotten mixed results. There's some things where I've really felt incredibly powerful and happy about, and there's other things where I'm like, man, I could have done this better in GPT. And then there's Copilot from Microsoft. Copilot is great, but it gives you a Microsoft response. And I love Microsoft to the moon and back. But what I can tell you is Microsoft, in my world, they are the king of, and I don't want to disparage, they're the king of mediocrity. They do everything reasonably well, but nothing exceptionally well in this case with regard to AI. You get reasonably well formulated prompts and formulated responses, but it's just not the same as the others. So for today's demonstration, I'm going to be using ChatGPT-4. Now, GPT-4 is the paid version. It's $20 a month. But in my world, I'm going to tell you that's $20 well spent. I use AI just about every day. So if you want to factor that in, daily usage of AI, yeah, Chat is a good investment. Okay, so this is where we start. We begin by creating something called a super prompt. Now, many of you may not know what a super prompt is, but a super prompt teaches AI and any other tool how to behave and how it can assume a set of identity so that it can reply and give you the best information based on what you're trying to ask it. So it may interact with you and ask you a series of questions to find out more about your business, or to find out more about the roles you're asking for, to find out more about what you're asking it to do. So you can create or pre-create a set of prompts that you can execute in AI to teach it what you want it to know before you start asking it questions. So let me give you an example, because I did put one in here. Now, I'm going to warn you ahead of time, this is a long prompt. So I started with, you're an expert ChatGPT prompt engineer with expertise in all subject matters. Throughout our interaction, you'll refer to me as Lee. Let's collaborate to create the best possible ChatGPT response to a prompt I provide with the following steps. And then I give it some steps. So here you can see I gave it 14 steps with a prompt to repeat steps 10 through 14 until I'm happy with the content of the prompt, right? So it will continue to repeat these until I get the answer that I want. Then there's an appendix that goes along with it that tells it all the different things that I expect it to do. So I could put in any of these commands: adopt the role. So adopt this role and answer this question, or chain of thought, or contextual indicator, or custom steps, or do not execute this, or here's an example, or execute this new prompt, or address me as an expert in this, or only include things that are factual. So you can see there's a lot here, and this goes on to a couple more pages. Formalize, and these are all alphabetical. Interdisciplinary, so modify roles, periodic review, perspective, possibilities. There's a lot here. Generalize, interdisciplinary, modify roles, periodic review, perspective. I think we talked about those. Reference, revise prompt, role play, show expert roles, suggest roles, auto suggest, topic pool. There's a lot of things you can do, right? So before we go any further, let's execute this. So let's do this prompt. So I'm going to go into ChatGPT. I'm going to make sure I switch to ChatGPT-4, which is where I am now. And then I'm going to execute that giant prompt that you just now saw. So here it is. I just hit paste because I had it in my clipboard. And here it goes. So I just now asked it to execute. It's called Prompt Roles Collaboration. And if I go down to the bottom, it now says, how may I help you today, Lee? It knows who I am, and it's automatically replying already. That's what I wanted it to do. Okay, let's go back and see what the next prompt is. Let's go see what we need to do next. So we're going to stay in this chat, but we're going to see what the next prompt is. So let's go. Let's go. All right. Next, we're going to identify the roles and accountabilities, right? So this is where we're going to ask Chat to help us identify key roles, and this should be an easy prompt. I would like for you to suggest an agile project for a marketing group to create a new and innovative product. That sounds pretty good. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back over to Chat, and we're going to paste that in. All right, so here it goes. It's going to suggest roles. So it's suggesting a marketing strategist, an agile project manager, and a creative director. I'm going to ask it, can you please include roles for a basic agile implementation, including marketing product owner, Scrum Master, and development team. Okay, so now it says it's going to include those roles. And look at this. It's going to give me an overview of each of the roles. Here we go. And an icon associated with each one to make it kind of cool. Okay, so there are the roles that we are going to use. Now, I chose marketing because with marketing departments, it's kind of unique. You have people who are like marketing strategists, creative directors. You have other people you have to deal with that aren't part of the core Agile team. So I wanted to make sure I kind of got a blend of roles. So this is super cool because now you can see how Chad is interacting with me and how I am going to tell it, yes, this is it. So now I'm going to go back and let's see what's next. You can modify the roles to map more closely with roles that you have available. Can we adjust the roles? Please include all the basic roles, including Agile Coach, Marketing Product Manager. That's the part that I just now did, and include a bulleted list. So I just did that step, right? So very cool. We just now executed our first query in chat. Let's see what's next. Let's brainstorm. So if you already have an idea for a product or service you want to do, you're ahead of the game. You're good to go. Pop it in. But if not, for our example, I'm going to ask chat to help me brainstorm for a product or service. So I'm going to ask chat to suggest the Agile project for a marketing group, include coverage for at least one major product campaign, include disruptions from internal stakeholders, and keep the project as close to reality as possible. So I'm going to tell it to do this, and let's see what it comes up with. Now, keep in mind, chat will brainstorm and create an idea. It will help outline the Agile project for you. You can change, approve, or modify the idea as desired, and the outline is going to be incredible. So let's show you what chat does. So I'm going to plug that prompt in, and it's going to say, yeah, let's do it. So an eco-friendly product line, aiming a position, okay. So it looks like it's trying to create some eco-environmentally friendly product. Okay. So now I am going to modify. So I'm going to start typing modification. Can we make this product a reusable water bottle that detects the amount of water intake I consume and filters water at the source. Okay, so I like the eco-friendly idea, so I'm going to run with that. There we go, smart reusable water bottle. Hey, look at that. So now we have a product. The product's going to be a smart reusable water bottle. So there we go, look at this. And look at this project it's breaking out for me. What? It's giving me the entire project. It's breaking it out into phases. It's going through each of the ideation, discovery, delivery, and release phases. It's showing me even post-launch things that I have to be concerned about. And it's giving me a ton of information that I can go back and I can use and leverage to figure out everything from, let's review real quick. We got time. So discovery and design, 4 weeks, right? So first, okay, here's an objective. Here's a quick vision overall of what the product's going to be. It shows me discovery and design for 4 weeks. Conducting market research, initial product design. There is expected disruption or skepticism regarding the integration of technology with a traditional water bottle. Mitigation strategy, prototype demonstration, right? It shows me 8 weeks, what we're going to do and how we're going to build this product. And it shows us the technical challenges with water filtration, that we have to figure out how to do that in a miniaturized way. It shows you everything here. And now I included disruptions because I wanted it to feel real. I wanted you to see exactly how close it can be to an actual product. So this is a really good example of a product that I think we should build. So I'm going to run with this idea. Now keep in mind, I let chat think of any idea in the world, and that's the idea it came up with. If I did the same thing again, I can tell it, give me a new idea for a different product, and it would totally give me a different idea. Now, the key here is I'm not trying to get it to give me the next $1 million product. What I am trying to tell it is, give me an example that we can use. So if I were teaching a group or training a class and I just wanted a real easy, clean example, this would be a great way to give me a great example with included disruptions, with things that are happening. This is just a great example of how to leverage chat to get good information that you can then build on from here. So great information, Great way to do this. So now we've brainstormed. We've got a brand new product that we're ready and excited to launch. What's next? How about vision and strategy? This is going to be interesting. Take a look at this. Create a compelling elevator pitch with a clean hook that identifies our target audience, the problem the audience is suffering from, the name of our product, what type of product it is, how it is unlike competitors, and any other product differentiators. The topic of discussion is the product you just created, so it'll be our water bottle. Follow this literal format as closely as possible, and please align the output with these line breaks and make it appear exactly as outlined below. This statement should be able to be stated in 45 to 60 seconds. So I'm going to copy this prompt exactly like you see it. I'm not doing anything undercover here, which is pretty incredible. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop this prompt in. So there it is. Okay, but the one thing it did I want to show you is it did mess up my alignment, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to hit Shift Enter to get the line breaks in here. Okay, so for our target audience that is struggling with this problem, you got to make sure you remember to hit Shift when you do this, because if you just hit Enter, it is going to execute that prompt. Okay. Unlike our product, I'm glad I put caps in here. It makes it so much easier. And then I'll put this one 2 lines down. Okay, so now I've got it broken out exactly like the prompt on the other screen. So now I'm going to say, go for it. Okay, for environmentally conscious and health-aware individuals who are struggling with staying hydrated and reducing single-use plastic waste, our product, HydraSmart Bottle, is a smart reusable water bottle that provides real-time hydration tracking and on-the-go water filtration. It also integrates with mobile devices for hydration alerts and health tracking. Unlike Brita, Lark, and traditional reusable bottles, our product combines advanced filtration with personalized hydration tracking, making it easier to stay healthy and eco-friendly simultaneously. What? This is so cool. Can you give me 5 alternate names for our product? Aqua IntelliFlask, Pure Quench Smart Bottle, Eco Hydro Tracker, VitaFlow Hydration Companion, and Smart Sip Eco Bottle. Nice, right? But do you notice how I'm just talking to it like it's a friend? Like it's an expert sitting next to me. This is the person sitting next to me that knows all about eco-friendly water bottles. So I feel comfortable asking this person because this person's going to give me good information. So far, we put in our master prompt, our super prompt. We executed a prompt to talk about the roles. Then we executed a prompt to get the vision and strategy. Now I've gotten some alternate product names. I think we're on a roll. So now that we understand vision and strategy, what's next? Let's create a product backlog. You're probably thinking to yourself, no way, right? Are you telling me that chat is going to be able to do this? Okay, I'm copying. Next, create a product backlog for this project that includes epics, features, and stories. Give me the top 25 items that need to be completed. Please align the backlog so epics are broken down into features and broken down further into stories. Show the hierarchy using 1, 1.1, 1.11, etc. Display these in a table and make it easy to read and consume, and be certain to break each story into tests and suggest which sprint each story should be done in by adding this information to a new column in the table. Let's see what it says. What? Are you looking at this? It's breaking it down, putting it into the table for me, no problem. It's not going all the way down to the test level, but that's okay for now. It's giving me some idea of which sprint it's going to be in. And you can see it's 3.21, 3.22, 3.2.3, so you can see where it is. So you can kind of see how the features are broken down, and it starts the epics that are in a roadmap, and then it goes into the features, and then it breaks down the features into stories. That's pretty incredible, right? So there you go. So now I've got a backlog from initial designs to product launch, and it broke it all down for me. It tells me all the stories that it believes I should do. Now keep in mind, this is not a comprehensive list. I just told it to give me 25. But the whole thing I'm trying to say here is this is just a good starting point. And it's also good to make sure there was nothing that I forgot, right? It may know something that I may have forgotten, and I'll be like, oh man, I forgot all about that. Or, oh, that's a good idea. Now, there may be some things where I'm like, that's silly. We don't need to do that. But overall, this is going to give me a really good starting point to create a nice product backlog. So now we've got a backlog. We've got an entire product backlog at our fingertips, and all we had to do was a couple of simple queries inside of chat to get there. Pretty amazing and incredible. Okay, here comes the most fun part. Are you kidding me? Here we go. Talk about road mapping made simple. Look at this. It says, can you create a sample visual roadmap for feature level implementation broken down by calendar quarter? Now, this is one that I have as my example, but I want to see what it's going to do. So let's see if it can do something visually for me and create something. Now, I'm going to be honest, I've done this before and it said not going to work, but now it's going to try to generate 2 different responses and ask me which one I like better. So let's see what it comes up with. This is going to be interesting. So it's generating 2 responses, and these are both going to be visual, which is going to be pretty incredible. Oh my goodness, one is done. Ooh, which one do we like better? Oh my goodness. One looks more steampunk and the other one looks more flashy, right? Okay. I think, and they both are going to have misspellings on them. They're not going to make it perfect for you, but I think this one's our jam. Yes, I mean, look at that. That is just pretty intense, yes? So I'm going to select number 1 as the better response. Okay, so there it is. So now it's got number 1 as my better response. And look at this. And if you want to see it big, we can do this. Isn't that gorgeous? And keep in mind, it's not going to give you all of the details here. You still need to clean this up. But any graphic artist can take this now and clean it up. But this is just an incredible representation of what we're trying to do. Isn't that insane? It's got everything there. So all it is now is we just have to clean that up. And this is a visual representation. You could take out visual and just get a regular roadmap laid out, right? In a chart, in a graph. But I wanted something visual just for fun because I wanted to show you the power of ChatGPT using DALL-E to create something visual. So there was your visual representation. That, my friends, was pretty awesome, right? So now we've got a visual roadmap. What else could we possibly ask Chat to do? I mean, we've already gotten so far. How about a team working agreement? I know what you're thinking. No way. There is no way. Check this out. I'm going to go back to Chat. I'm going to say, can you help me create a team working agreement for all those working on the product? Okay, so here she goes. She's going to create a team working agreement. The purpose of our agreement, team values. So we're going to talk about collaboration, transparency, respect, innovation, sustainability. So first one was purpose of our agreement, then team values, then communication guidelines, meeting etiquette, which I love, work norms, handling conflicts, work-life balance, and continuous improvement. In an agreement to revisit the team working agreement with everyone signing off with their name and role. Interesting, because if I go back here, I focus on goals, meeting norms, work norms, decision-making, and core values. Isn't that crazy? So this is what I put a team working agreement should be, and Chat augmented that and created a team working agreement based on what I know about this team, based on the roles and accountabilities that were there. I don't know. I mean, you could present this to the team as a template and they can modify it. You could modify it if there's things you want to put in there. You could say, our meeting rules are typically this. Can you use these as a basis for creating the working agreement? You could say our work norms or standards are this. Our decision-making process is as follows. You could say our roles are completely different, and these are the roles and titles we use. And let me explain what each one does. And Chat will learn from you, morph the output, and come up with the exact perfect team working agreement that you need. That's pretty incredible, right? But wait, there's more. I haven't said it yet, right? How about creating a targeted persona? I know what you're thinking. There's no way, right? How about this? Can you show me 2 key targeted personas who would use this product? Give them a nice name and a description. So I'm going to ask it to do this. But the whole purpose behind this is personas are usually the toughest part for a product owner. They struggle with trying to create a good product persona. And if you're not happy with these, you can always ask for it to change, approve, modify, whatever you need. And if they're not perfect, they'll give you a great starting point for who you need to inquire about. So let's go back and we're going to plug in the personas. And look at this. We have eco-conscious Emma. Oh, here's her background, her goals, her challenges, why she uses the Hydra Smart bottle. Love it. And we have fitness-focused Felix. 35-year-old fitness trainer. Love it. This is really, really cool. It shows you diversity. It shows you equity. It shows you inclusiveness. I love these 2 personas. So this already for me is blowing my mind, right? But what would you do if I told you this is only the tip of the iceberg? There's more. I can't get enough of AI. There is more. Let's go back and let's do the next one. I'm getting warmed up here now. How about let's create an empathy map? What? Can we create an empathy map for each of these personas using a standard empathy map template? Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Let's go here. And I'm going to change this to say, can we create a visual empathy map for each persona using a standard empathy map template? The reason I did visual is because I wanted to see another image. Let's see what it comes up with for these 2. For my 2 personas, I'm excited to see. It always gives me something powerful. But I hope that you're understanding the intensity of using chat. This might be something to look at this. There's Emma. Go Emma. She's eco-conscious and she's so scared. Oh, poor Emma. But yeah, this is what she says and does. This is what she thinks and feels. Yeah, this is good. And look at Felix. He's fit. Yeah, look at that. This is great. So now I've got the 2 images and, they're not perfect once again, but they give you a good look at that. That is amazing. It's a great starting point, right? And I think the other piece is that it still gives you all the information for them, right? What they think and feel and da-da-da. So it gives you the information that you can plug into your own empathy map, or you could use these images as a template for what you want to do going forward. And you can ask chat to make either of those perfect, and it will. I'm just continuing for sake of time because it takes a long time for it to go through and check all the spelling and do all the things. So you can make those images perfect, or you can use that as a template to create your own. Still, I'm on cloud 9. This is pretty incredible, right? We've gotten chat to do some pretty incredible stuff in less than an hour. Should I continue? Could there possibly be any more, right? I could ask chat to take things to the next level and to put all this together for me in a concise document that I could, put together and print out. You could do those types of things. Can you assemble it into a book? Can I set it up so I can export the images into Canva for editing? You can do all those things. But for now, I think the key message I'm trying to send home to you is that now is the time for you to advance your Agile AI skills. Now, here's why I'm saying that. What I'm seeing in the marketplace right now is a lot of workforce reduction. And it's concerning me. And it's not just in the Agile workforce, but it's in workforces in general. And I feel like if you can become a proficient prompt writer, if you can learn how to write prompts, much like I have, it's going to help you in the marketplace be able to be more marketable yourself and to be more easily marketable to other organizations, because you are going to give them tools that can help save them time and money. And it's like you're doing a job of 2 people or 3 people, and you never have to tell them exactly what you're doing, but it gives you a head start on just about everything. And once I have this, I could say, great, let's leverage this and let's dive deeper into the first 3 steps of a marketing campaign. Boom, done. So there's lots you can do. All you have to do is talk to chat as if it were another person, and it will help you do what it can do. Now, I do want to tell a funny story real quick because it's funny. I was working with a couple of friends who were creating a haunted house, and they were saying, we're trying to create some new rooms in our haunted house. Can you use AI to help with that? And I said, sure. So I went to AI and I said, can you help me create some really scary, events that would happen in a person's life, that I can include in a haunted house? Immediately Chat said, no, that's unethical. I'm like, wow. So Chat is smart enough to know not to give you information that could be harmful to people. And I don't encourage you to try, right? But it knows, and it won't allow you to do things that are hurtful or harmful, which I think is really good. I really do think we're at a place right now where we need to be sensitive to those type of things, right? Just saying. So I did want to call that out as part of the ethical piece. But you need to start working on basic prompt writing today, right now. So I do have some final thoughts before we go into our Q&A portion of this. And here it is. We need to understand how AI is impacting what we do. As a coach, I know that it's critical to be able to integrate AI into our Agile practices, because if we don't do it, someone else will. It's going to happen. It's going to help enhance team productivity. It's going to make decision-making easier. It's going to make the overall pace of development faster. It's going to help you with testing. These tools are designed to really help you with everything from backlog prioritization. I created objective stack ranking using AI years ago. So this is something that's been on my mind for a very long time. So everything from rapid release planning to objective stack ranking all was stemmed from AI. So now you know that there's lots of power in how you use it. But here's the deal. If you're trying to fully leverage AI, if you're trying to use this in your organization, or if you're trying to use this to build some revolutionary product or service and take an idea that you have and bring it to market, if you want to be the next person on Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, right, then you need to figure out a way to get yourself or your organization registered for a private workshop on how to leverage AI. What I showed you today is a very high-level overview of all the things you can do. For each different company and for each different type of product or service, especially if there's regulatory or compliance and other things that you have to put in, sometimes there's more information you have to feed to AI in order for it to give it information back to you that's valuable. So I just showed you some of the really basic, fun things you could do. I showed you some of the real tricks of the trade, just fun, how do I leverage AI kind of things. But if you want to tailor this to map to your organizational needs, and you want to know and have an expert handy at your side to help you do this, you need to reach out to us right away. I have a good feeling that these workshops that I'm about to offer are going to fill very, very quickly. We're going to offer the first 5 customers who register, for their company, for groups, a group discount for this. Normally, this is not an inexpensive thing because it's cutting edge, it's brand new, and it's very customized. But we want to make sure that we give you the opportunity to work with a company that's on the forefront of AI, that understands it and understands how to leverage it and how to execute to come up with some really powerful things. So if you haven't already written down the information, you need to get in touch with us right away. So let's get those key takeaways done so we can make sure we finish this up. 1, AI can resolve that Agile landscape. It can do most of the ideation and discovery for you if you give it the right information. So if you're saying we don't have time or money to do the initiation and discovery, what I'm saying is if you get a good set of prompts written, you can do most of the initiate and discover ahead of the game and start in delivery, which is what most organizations are already trying to do unsuccessfully. And this is why a lot of organizations are saying Agile's not working, because they're jumping straight to delivery. 2, AI is not a one-size-fits-all model. Let's get that out of the way right now. If you're trying to implement AI, it has to be custom to your group, and that's the importance of leveraging a private AI workshop. 3, AI can and should be used ethically. This has the power to do a lot of crazy things, but you want to make sure that you're using it responsibly. And that's something that, once again, a coach should be able to help you out with. 4, AI is an incredibly powerful tool for templating. It's going to give you a template to work with. You're going to have to experiment with these templates and figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, how you want to do it. You're going to have to massage your prompts. There's a lot of things you need to do to get AI to do what I just did today. The whole thing that worked for me today is that initial super prompt. If I didn't do that, none of that would have come out the way that it did, right? And then finally, make sure you register your company for a private AI workshop through AgileDad. This is part, I'm never sales pitchy, but this is probably the most important piece. What I've shown you today standalone will not work for your organization. And if you try it, I'm not responsible for the outcome that comes from it. I want you to really understand how to create that super prompt. I want you to understand what you're looking for and how you're going to leverage AI to revolutionize the way you do work. But it's not something that I feel like every organization can do on their own. You really do need some help getting that done. So I know I promised that I would give you access to all these materials. So this is the place where you can go to get it. That QR code right there, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to scan that. That is going to be your ticket to getting this deck in a PDF format so that you literally can copy and paste some of those prompts into your tool, into whatever AI tool you're using. Now, the one that I have it set up for obviously is ChatGPT. And I'm going to tell you now, the free version gives you completely different results, but it's still a good opportunity for you to practice and play around with some of these prompts and see what it comes up with. Because I can tell you right now that if you learn how to do prompt writing, it's going to set you apart from everyone else, and it's going to make you indispensable, because the future of Agile, the future of product development, the future of project development is leaning heavily in the workspace of AI. And this is just going to be one of those tools that you can use and you can leverage to really push people forward, to push the product forward, and to do some pretty amazing things. So I hope that you have taken away some pretty incredible discovery. AI is just such an amazing tool. And I know with confidence that if you learn how to do good prompting, and if you learn how to leverage some of the things you learned today, and if you get in and get one of those early AI workshops, it's going to help you get a head start and get ahead of the curve so that you can leverage this for your initiation, ideation, and discovery, so that you can get those parts done more quickly and more quickly get to delivery, which is where you're building that product and service, which is where everyone needs to be. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, take care, stay well, and be agile, my friends. We'll see you soon. Bye now.